It is a warm and pretty picturesque late summer afternoon at Paul Brown Stadium in the Queen City of Cincinnati. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the Baltimore Ravens. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. And Charles, our ball game here featuring a couple of young quarterbacks a lot of people have their eye on. Lamar Jackson of the Ravens, Joe Burrow of the Bengals.
Yeah, Brandon, we're starting to see some of the old guard moving on. Guys like Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning. And in their place, there have been some dynamic young guys who have come into the league, not just this year, but in the last 3 or 4 years in particular. They've really changed the quarterback position. And I think both of these guys fit into that category. Youth is being served.
Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And we are underway from Cincinnati. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. Here come the Bengals, and CD, of course, it's Joe Burrow out of LSU at quarterback.
And when you come into the league as the #1 guy selected, a lot of hype comes with it. Sometimes that weight can be unbearable. But this young man, he took that weight on and handled it as well as you can imagine. And I love his ability to make a second, third reaction play and create downfield.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. Working with his 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
And now they will throw it with Burrow. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
On 3rd down, Burrow. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. Number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
So this is where we find out about the game plan and the trust factor, don't we? In this situation, the natural thing is take care of the ball, run it inside. Everyone cover it. Just, get yourself some room and let your punter punt it out of there. But when you really got a QB you can trust, you might want to take a little shot early and try and create some space.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. The tackle there by Jermaine Pratt.
All right, let's put the check mark on the defensive side of the ledger there. Really nice tackle by the man in the middle. But why was he able to get that done? Because he has 4 down linemen in front of him, 2 tackles, 2 ends. And what they often try to do is create what we call a funnel. Right to the man in the middle linebacker who often leads his team in tackles.
Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down. Well, sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face, because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. Inside handoff here to Ricard. And they'll mark him down right around the 9, just shy of the 10. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up fourth down.
Now's a good chunk of yardage picked up there. Big fella, sometimes he doesn't need a whole lot of space created. He can make his own way.
Here's Jamie Gillen down, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw here into the hands of Boyd. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
Mixon with a first down carry. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. It was Anthony Averett who got him down. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Airing one out for Boyd. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up. They can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. Now it's 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
So 1st and goal now from the 7-yard line. They'll give it to Mixon, and they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Tackling's obviously critical down near the goal line. That was great work there to make the hit behind the line and make sure he doesn't get any further. Did a really nice job wrapping up and not letting him loose.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Another try for Mixon. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? Here's Mixon. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave them with a long 4th and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. McPherson's kick is good. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. So a good kick there. They put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past him.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. And the first drive, 3 and out. 2nd possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that
The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. There for the sack, B.J. Hill. 2nd quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And out will come the offense as they take over. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. To throw on 2nd and 10, Burrow. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
That was a good illustration of setting the edge as a defensive end, being able to make sure that you stay on your feet no matter what type of block, and you're not going to get pushed inside. Stayed home, skated to the outside, and made the play.
Here's Kevin Huber now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense going to take over late in this first half as they take over with exactly 1 minute to go here before intermission. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Steps away to his... Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Bengals have recovered it. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think that you take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Throwing on 2nd and long. Burrow. Man open. That's Jamar Chase complete. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And he's gonna miss this one. Wide to the left from distance. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. And I never played quarterback, but I'm thinking as a quarterback, you're a little bit into the game now. 2nd quarter, you're losing. You're not playing well. Probably feels like a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Certainly does, but it's something that quarterbacks have to be used to because they're always carrying around that weight. So how do they adjust the weight? How do they make it work for them? How do they work against it? That's what we're going to find out going forward.
Yeah, he'll be trying to get all that weight off his shoulders here on this drive. He's going to let this one go deep. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell. And the Bengals are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
And the Bengal offense going to see the ball one more time in this first half. And they may just be content to take this 3-point lead and head into the locker room. And just 25 seconds to go in the half now as they've got it 1st and 10. Now Burrow. Going for the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Well, no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. One more time, they'll keep it on the ground. And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the 1st. So we've reached halftime here in the Queen City, and it's the Bengals leading this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Ravens. And I can imagine the halftime discussions are about how can we improve the running game. They have not had success so far, and it's reflected on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they too didn't do a whole lot in terms of rushing efficiency in that first half, as you can tell by the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. And able to get this out to the 25. This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. Trey Hendrickson, the one who gets him on the ground. The defensive line made pretty easy work of the offensive line that time.
And people get tired of the cliche that the battle is won in the trenches. But it's a cliche because it's true. And how about the battle right there? One on the edge, and the ball carrier did not benefit.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Third down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. He's going to loft one deep left side here. He's got it at the 15. And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. It's a big play there for Baltimore. For all the deserved accolades Lamar Jackson gets for his running prowess, his deep ball, it's really a thing to behold as well.
And you'd think on third down they'd just be looking for something right beyond the sticks. And I think they caught the defense flat-footed as a result, because they decided they were going to take a shot right there, and it ended up being a big play.
And the final number on that throw, boy, it traveled an even 69 yards. A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Jackson on the give to Dobbins, and he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit. As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
On third down, Jackson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Robinson. And he'll be brought down well short of the first at about the 9-yard line. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So they come away from this opening drive of the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, and that has to be job 1, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
And Wilson is perfectly content to bring this out to the 25, a touchback. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. And their 3-point halftime lead gone now, back to a tie game. But, Charles, I don't imagine that changes too much for this offense.
I would agree. I don't think it changes much at all, whether it's a 3-point lead or a tie game. They know they have their work cut out for them, and they were going to run their offense in the same vein.
Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8. There's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. From the gun, a give to Mixon. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. On 3rd and 1, Burrow. Got a man. It's Chase. He completes it. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Burrow looking to pass. They're looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
You're looking there at a defensive back who's maybe a step slower than he was when he came into the league a decade ago. I know I questioned his speed coming into the game, but what he's lost in speed, he's more than made up for it with intellect. And that's a great job of knowing how to position himself to make that interception.
A lone second remains now in this third quarter. They'll start out here with the option left. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Von Bell. And the Bengals are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Well, we say it often, Charles, but not all interceptions are created equally, and that is a big one here in a tie ball game in the fourth quarter.
And Brandon, when games are this close, it usually comes down to the team making the fewest mistakes, and that was one of our mantras back at Tennessee. Coach Major used to say all the time, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. You've got to cut those down to give yourself an opportunity.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And the question, can they turn that interception into points? A tie game for the moment in the fourth quarter. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here 1st and 10 at their own 37. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Forced, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Adafe Owe picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Another try after the first down sack. Burrow. That's caught by the tight end, Drew Sample. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Out to the left. He's got Sample there. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
On 1st down, Mixon. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves, that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
Let's go.
What a tough spot to miss a kick, just an absolute letdown.
Look, they got themselves in the field goal range, gave them a chance to take the lead. They come up empty, and now you wonder, will their offense ever see the football again?
Yeah, because on the other side, one through the post, and this thing could be over. The Ravens ready to take over. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a score to break this tie. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And the Bengals are going to take over at their own 2-yard line. Well, now we're starting a little game of hot potato here. Turnovers on back-to-back plays.
And that inclination is always there, isn't it, partner? Because when your defense forces a turnover, you get that quick change situation, and you know your offense coordinator is thinking, let's dial up a deep ball right away and go after them. But this defense, they went out there and they were ready to go and took it away.
Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it. But they picked up a little bit of yardage there. And now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Throwing, Burrow. Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Counting down toward a minute to go in this football game. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
That's complete to Chase. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big connection on that one. 36 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's a give to Mixon. Stays on his feet. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. Once again, they run with Mixon. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. Big third down. A field goal from this spot, 57 yards as they hope to move it a little closer. A handoff to Mixon. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that's going to make it 4th down. So a pressure spot here for Evan McPherson. This from 55 yards out. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And that changes everything here in OT. And we've got free football. 4 quarters done, and we're dead even. We'll have overtime after this timeout. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And they will play it safe here and bring this one out to the 25. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way, because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play. And
certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. Burrow's throw going to be caught by Boyd. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Offensively, back-to-back really nice plays. This defense, they've got 2 timeouts, maybe should burn one.
Yeah, when you get back-to-back explosive plays, to me, anything over 10 yards, I don't care if it's a run or a pass, I count it as an explosive play. That sets your defense back on its heels. A timeout here would be a good idea and try and get themselves settled, because we're in OT. This is big time.
Well, good start for him under center here in overtime. Now 3 of 3.
And this is where you have to know who you have playing quarterback. You've got a confident thrower right now, someone who's taking care of the ball, but not being timid as well, and is moving the team downfield. That opens up your playbook and allows you to dial up some big shots if you want them.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
The second down and 10th there, knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. In need of a 3rd and 10 conversion to keep this opening drive of OT alive. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this will be caught. Touchdown. They needed overtime to get it done, but put this one in the win column. So the game-winning touchdown came through the air in overtime. 4 quarters wasn't enough. We were treated to a really good one, weren't we, Parker?
That we were, and I just love being able to be witness to a game like this. All the way through. Who's going to win it? Oh, what? We're getting overtime? Great for us. A lot of tension on the field. Very tough. Not a surprise it ended with a passing touchdown. That's the way we play in the NFL. But the execution was pretty darn good.
Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here.
That almost felt like open up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football. Low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you? You loved the defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.